What's up, guys? Welcome to Season 2 of Hang Time, Season 4 of Hangover Bowl. I can't wait to get started. League starting Sunday. Let's get right into it. But first things first, I'm sure you guys are noticing there's only 2 people on the bench.
Very sad.
Our third guy, beloved Kama,
He would be right here.
he has better things to do, he told us.
still
He
see
just
him.
said, I can't, too much of a time commitment. It's Thursday night at 51 Jerome. Where else do you want to be?
Right.
You know? But on that note, Elliot, tell everyone who's new. What's the new personnel going on to Season 4?
This season, showcasing a lot of variety, a lot of new things, a lot of updates to the league. So for starters, we got a lot of new guys, and we're gonna, introduce all the rookies. We're gonna speak about the guys that are coming back, speak about the guys that are just fully being introduced, and we're gonna be saying goodbyes. Like Kama, we're gonna be saying goodbyes, but not to Hang Time, like to the actual league. So it's gonna get sad. Tears may be shed, but bear with us, and try to keep it together at home. First, Eddie Casson, captain, 7th captain. He's a good player, Eddie. I don't see him play too much, but I've heard very good things about him.
He's a
paired
stud.
up with Alha this
The
year.
guy's a stud. Everyone wants to play with him, pushes the pace, gets everyone involved. Super fun captain, great addition to the league. But before we say goodbye, I think we need to congratulate Maris Shaya and that team that they put together last year. We didn't do a final pod.
That's true.
Congratulations, Maris Shaya, Mosai, Jack Ghani, and he who shall not be named, the third ex-host. But you guys were dominant all year and deserved it.
By the way, Kama, it's personal. Like, the fact that you're not here, it's personal. Like, you might be blacklisted from the pod. Like, we might not mention your name again. You might not be invited back.
That's it.
Like,
That's
you're out. You're out. Well, we won't replace you. That'd just be,
Who else
that'd
we
be too
got?
far.
And
So we got Eddie. We got IG. Eddie's
right-hand
boy.
man. Yeah.
Boy. Eddie's dog. IG, first round guard, defensive-minded guy. A lot of people are excited about his game, too. We got the last year's sub making a full-time commitment to the league, Michael Moseri. Joe has some poor memories with
Brian,
Mike Mo
roll
in
the
this
clip,
league.
Brian.
Brian, roll the clip if you're editing
Put me
this.
on my bottom.
Editing this, Mike Mo.
He
Roll that
didn't
clip.
get my vote to join the league
Right,
because of that.
that's for sure.
Because of this clip that you're about to see. So roll it, Brian.
And then we got, last but certainly not least, a familiar face, one that we're happy to bring back, Mark Antar. I've heard crazy things about how good this guy is. I haven't seen him play since Season 2, so I can't really confirm nor deny, but Joe can tell you what
He's
he knows.
very excited, and he's been saying the past year and a half, he's been balling like crazy.
Right.
And we all know how athletic this guy is.
Yeah.
He throws like 80 miles an hour fastball.
Right.
Football team with me, star of the defense. If the guy's been putting in work, he's gonna be scary.
Yeah, and I see it. I really see it. Like,
And
he
he's
was
got
in like
the build,
Northeastern, right?
Yeah,
he's like probably
he's-
balling with all these random guys
Listen.
in Boston. Like, it makes sense that he's a baller now. So, okay, fine.
And
I can respect it.
on that happy note, we got you guys saw all these additions. There must be people leaving, and
Right. Can't just add 4 and lose none.
all good
so.
things must come to an end,
Right.
as they say. But first things first, Maris Shaya. Since we had to add a captain, we had to replace him with Eddie Casson,
The MVP of the league.
MVP of the league, just sheer domination. But up next,
Mo Shaya.
one second.
Dave.
A little emotional here.
All right.
I'm Dave.
Cookies and cream. Part
To
of
the
cookies and
heavy
cream.
heart that we announced that David Adis is not coming back to Season 4.
Brian, put him on the screen with a black and white photo in rain.
He's been a staple year 1 guy.
Dude,
Honestly, everyone loved him, and everyone loved him. Dominant, offensive monster, and we're just really gonna miss him. But he's in Israel this summer working, so if
can't hate
he
what
can't
he's
be
doing,
at
you know what I'm saying?
51
Yeah.
Jerome, he might as well be at the Holy Land.
right. We hope everything's okay up there.
But
No, really,
they say he's only in the Holy Land for like a month and a half. Come playoff time, there's a key injury. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dave back on the hardwood.
God forbid, but let's see what happens.
I would say Dave is one of like 2 people, other than probably you, Elliot, that has a spot after he comes back.
So,
he's
come
the
on.
guy. Everyone wants him back, and Dave, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, your spot is right where you left it. It'll be right there for you.
And say bye to the other 2 guys for us.
And then we got another sad goodbyes, but not like Dave, not like Adis, but very sad though. AB Seda, absolute baller. Hate to see him go. Played with him a month ago and the whole time I was just thinking about how I would love for him to be in the league, be on my team. This was pre-draft, by the way. To those that are on my team watching this, I wouldn't trade you guys for anyone. And the last guy that we're losing,
Chetty.
Oh, sorry, that was disrespectful.
Chetty.
Sorry.
Chetty also year 1 guy.
Chetty's a year 1 guy, staple since day 1.
Yeah, always showed up. We love Chetty. And it wasn't active enough in the chat. and the shenanigans we pull like hang time.
Right. It was
would not
mutual. It was a
have been his
mutual.
thing,
It was a
but-
mutual goodbye.
But we loved him. I loved
Yeah,
him.
I
I
loved
think
him
I
too.
was part of bringing him on. But
You were part of bringing him on, and you were not part of letting him go.
I feel like I should make a PSA to the viewers that their beloved hosts are on the same team.
That's right.
For season
That's right.
4
That's right.
Hangover Bowl.
You're gonna get a lot of
I
Team
feel
Elliott
like
content this year.
I've been on a losing team my whole career. I'm just
From
ecstatic.
Barca, even from the Barca days.
I don't know what winning feels like. And
Change
I
that.
feel
We're
like
gonna change
if
that.
this team fails, then I'm gonna have to start doing some introspection because I got the captain everyone wants to be with. But you know, we're still gonna try and stay as unbiased as possible. But
Listen, when it comes to our team's matchups of the year and our predictions, listen, on this pod you're only gonna be hearing like Team Elliott W
yeah.
in the match predictions, but
it may be true. It may be
should
true.
be true. It should be true, but like we're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna be, of course, as unbiased as possible.
But with that, I feel like we're not going to run through the teams. It's going to take too long. Like we said before, we're trying to short form content, reels, shorts, things like that. I want to rip through things. So with
Yeah.
that, let's move on to the next. What's next on the schedule?
Auction draft.
Oh, so we did some changes. There's some minor rule changes that you won't realize. But for the drafting, I have a captain next to me that could tell us a quick thing about. We shifted to an auction draft from a snake draft this year, and how'd that feel? Talk
Right.
to us about that.
So, listen, from my perspective, I didn't really know anything about auction drafting whatsoever. I have no experience doing an auction draft, fantasy, real life, anything. Absolutely not. So I was like really, really worried, honestly. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I was even shaking a little bit. Like I was very anxious coming in. But you know, the good thing about this league is that it's all your boys, right? So like, I can't be upset with who I get. And you know, I have confidence in every player in this league. I think you can build a championship-winning team with a very high number of variations in terms of like which 3 players you're getting. So long as I knew that I'm gonna get 3 guys that I know that I trust, I knew it was gonna work out. And thank God, my team ended up much better than I anticipated. For the amount of money that everyone was given, I feel like I shouldn't have ended up with such a good team, but it is what it is, and I never complain. I'm so happy with the squad we got going, and excited to see what happens.
What I feel like is a common theme in auction drafts from fantasy football, there's always like a team that you think's gonna win right out of the gate, and a team that sucks right away. I feel like it's not as cookie cutter like that for this year. There is chatter on who the worst team is more so than the best team,
True.
which we'll get into. What this next segment is, we're excited to announce. Brian, roll the segment intro, please. This is
Segment
called
intro.
Quotes. We're trying to get every player involved. Me and Elliot texted all the boys it was yesterday or today, just asking them a bunch of questions, pick 2 to answer, and we got some awesome responses.
Dude, you guys got
trying
some
to get everyone
insight. Like,
involved.
some of you boys
It's
have
just-
insight.
Some
bro.
people are fiery.
Dude,
They're like they've been
Yeah.
itching for season 4.
Yeah, right.
Like truth,
Has to
I've
happen.
been itching for season 4.
Right.
I got 1 win last season, and it was like, all right,
It wasn't a pretty one.
no,
I
we
don't
didn't do
remember.
a pretty
Oh, it was
thing.
very ugly. 31-30, game 1.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
Max.
remember that. Oh God.
Very
Oh
ugly.
God, gross.
Gross.
Grotesque. All right, so Elliot, this segment is brought to you by Cardozo School of Law. Elliot Almagravi, please take it away with the quote segment.
Okay. I just want to mention one more thing about the auction, by the way. Mentioned this to JoJo when we were, doing our little pre-hang time discussion, our breakdown of what we're planning on talking about. And in terms of the auction, an interesting thing that I noticed was that coming into it, right off of last season, there's a lot of chatter about Shia. He might be too good for the league. He might be this, he might be that. I mean, he's obviously far and away the best captain that we had, but I think, and I kept saying this last year, I said, listen, there's no world where Mar Shia should have a better supporting cast than, any of the other captains. And he had a better supporting cast than arguably 6 out of 6 of the other captains. So I feel like if we came out this year, we gave him obviously a low amount of money, the teams would have ended up balanced. And we kind of saw that in the fact that the auction, we still reverted to auction even without him. And the teams are so balanced. So many people are so excited that no, you can't claim a true winner. And I like the fact that we should switch to auction anyway. I think all the guys that voted for that did the right thing. I voted for draft because I'm not gonna lie, it's been working for me thus far. But thank God, it seems like I think the auction might work too. But those who were pushing for auction, respect. You're right. We got some birds in the background. But,
Yeah.
We're good.
Something.
Okay, on to the quotes.
But yeah, let's go on to the next segment. You can play the intro music again, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, just run it one more time. Play the intro music. Should we? What do you think we should do? Should we say the question? Should we read the question and then the answer? Should we read all 6? We gave them
Read the
these
question.
6.
Read the question.
All right, so we're gonna start like this, fellas.
Question by
We sent out 6 questions to all the boys. We said answer 2 out of 6, but you know, the more the merrier. If you want to answer
question
a
and
couple.
answer, we'll do.
All right, so here we go. Question 1. By the way, these are straight from JoJo's brain. He came up with these questions. Question 1. What's the one matchup circled on your calendar that you are planning, and what are you planning to prove that game? Sorry, I can't really see. I'm looking at the flash, and it's like taking my
Yeah,
vision
it's
away.
blinding.
But and what are you planning to prove that week, that game? You want to start us, or should I start? So we got Max. It's a cute answer. Listen, it's a cute answer. It's not exactly what we're looking for, but it's worth mentioning. Max says he's never been to a finals in his life, and the one matchup really week he's looking forward to is that championship week. He plans on changing that this year. He says this is the last year I'm getting bounced in the semis, I'm getting bounced in the quarters. Never missed the playoffs, but he says this is the last year for any of that, premature exit, and he's going for gold this year. And I think he might have the team to do that this year with Harry, Mark Antar, and Uzi. Like, he really might.
He's very excited
Really
for his
right.
new team. But for the next answers, we have a recurring theme. 3 people said they're just excited for week 1. Short-term memory be a goldfish. Just look what's right ahead of you, and that those 3 people
guy
were
with the
Mike Mo, Richard, and I believe Larry. But on Larry's note, we got Eli Shalawach firing, saying he wants
Right,
Larry.
that's right, that's
Judah
right.
Towel wants Larry.
Right.
That was the only 2 name drops in this.
Right.
Everyone wants Team Larry. I don't know what Larry did, but they want Larry.
Larry, you got
Eli
some haters,
Shalawach
you got some guys.
gave
An
Megillah
extensive
and a
response.
half. He gave Megillah and a half,
Yeah.
but just to quote some of his things that he was saying, he wanted Aaron Levy also because he's the best team, and Eli, I guess his track record shows that Eli balls out against Aaron Levy because when he's playing the best, he plays up to his competition.
That's right.
And this quote, maybe
way,
the
this is all
viewers can help
quoted,
me
by the
break
way.
it down. This is word by word. It's funny how they'll say that I don't got it anymore, yet against the best 2 captains, I seem to be at my best. So Eli's saying like everyone's counting him out. They don't think he's got it anymore. I was on his team last year, 1-6. I mean, maybe it could obviously been us, but it's not surprising that people were saying
Right.
that we don't got it.
Right.
He doesn't got it anymore.
Listen, you put up lackluster performances, you get lackluster responses. That's just how it works.
And
Eric's
then when
been
he
dealing
was
with it for 3
talking,
years.
then he was talking about Larry. Eli digs deep.
Yeah.
I love.
By the way,
the
when I
best guy,
texted Eli, I
he
said,
digs
"Give me some
deep.
insight, brother."
He says, "I want Larry. We're gonna exploit their poor defense consistently.
Like consistently, like from minute 1 to minute 32, however long his games are, 34.
Unreal. It's just
Consistently.
I just
Isaac Indy, is that a shot at Isaac Indy's defensive ability? Because I'm assuming that's going to be his matchup.
truth. It's just Eli sees the game differently than all of us.
Right.
He thinks there's switching issues probably, but I don't know. But I love it. And then the next guy, Eddie Casson, shouting out Isaac Siyama,
Right,
Isaac
right. There
Shama,
was a
just
lot of
because they
chirp.
had some beef.
Right. A lot of beef
Eddie wanted to
preseason.
draft him, I believe, and Isaac just said hell no.
Right. He said
So-
he presented a lot of Jimmy Butler gifs.
Whatever.
A lot of
So let's go
references.
into question 2. We asked the
13-minute
boys,
mark.
what's your team's biggest advantage this year, and how do you plan to lean into it? So this is a good question, I thought, because that answer could change. Like last year, I would say we were like my Eli team was bigger than everyone, stronger, better on D, and it just wasn't true. You know,
Right.
so like everyone has different expectations and when it gets into it. So,
Right.
Elliot, start reading
Right.
off some of the boys' answers. Try and hit 3 here. As so many people answered this one. Holy
By
cow.
the way, you guys did great. A lot of answers, a lot of insightful answers. I'll try to keep it good. I'm going to try to not repeat guys unless they gave great answers. You know what I'm saying? Eric Citrin had an interesting answer to me. He said his team's biggest advantage is size. Okay, we know that, right?
Richard and Judah Towel.
Right. Richard
For those that
Juti,
don't
Jack
know.
Gani averaged like
Jack Gani.
14 boards a game, this guy. Right? Advantage is size and rebounding. They'll take advantage on the offensive glass while limiting second opportunities. So that part didn't surprise me, but I had a personal conversation with Eric on my own, and Eric told me that his team's biggest advantage is their defense. I was a little surprised to hear that, considering I heard from a lot of people, and I may even almost agree that I didn't think their defense was a clear-cut strong suit, let alone I would never classify it as an advantage against
But the
others.
fact that he says that, even if we don't agree, shows that how confident he is in his
Right.
team.
I mean, you should be.
Because the perimeter defense is probably the biggest, like what we would be trying to exploit as
Right.
what week 1 matchup. But
Right.
if he thinks that's a strength, then that's scary, frankly.
Yeah.
But,
If he's right, that team is going to be scary.
Yeah, that is the title favorite right
Yeah.
now, right?
Right. Maybe.
Unreal. Maybe.
After week 1, we'll see. I don't know.
Richard sent some ChatGPT answer that I will not read to the viewers. I refuse to read.
We don't have any younger
Jack
kids.
Aladef was kind of saying his Eddie Casson team is like the Pacers. He didn't say the Pacers, but I'm putting that in.
Oh, Ness said
He
the
said-
Pacers, though.
He
Ness
said
said
we
the
push the
Pacers.
pace. Oh, Ness did say
Ness and
Jack.
Jack Aladef are in sync
Aladef
already.
said
It's a good
our
look.
team's biggest advantage is probably going to be the pace. We see the Pacers in the NBA Finals just off the inbound, just pushing the ball, getting
Right.
free buckets. So I think
Right.
that's what he's picturing.
And I definitely see that from that team.
And but then after he says that, which is just we could all agree on they're a fast team, but then he responds, "I don't think there's a better 4 than us." So that won't be universally agreed.
Right. Definitely
That's a statement and a half.
Right.
If they have the best 4, but as he should believe that. Eddie Casson got the best player on the board, and I think we could all agree on Jack Aladef easily could have been a captain this year. There was
Absolutely.
actually a poll that he could have been on it.
Right.
So having 2 guys at that caliber playing together, pushing the pace.
2 young guys, they got something to prove. Like,
Yeah,
they
we
have,
don't
like,
want
you know?
newcomers winning.
Definitely
Even
not.
though Jack Aladef's been here, he's a newcomer. We don't want him winning.
Right. It's not
Sorry,
about, no,
Jack.
it's
We love
the
you.
newcomer aspect from Edcast, but paired with a younger aspect of
Correct,
Alice. We don't want
correct.
to, just a horrible duo to win this league. No one wants to see that.
All right,
You do it.
let's go into the next question. What's one weakness in your team? So I thought this was gonna be an exciting question. I got horrible answers. Richard Cohen again, ChatGPT just said we don't have a weakness.
Right. Like, we didn't need
but
that, buddy.
Uzi, which was very nice. I think he's banged up about our season with Eli last
be,
year,
he
how
could
we
be.
sucked.
He could be.
Well, he said, "What's our biggest weakness?" He just responds, "Me."
I got to lock in, he said.
I gotta lock in.
Listen. I want to say something. Uzi, do not get down on yourself, brother.
Yeah,
I
right,
swear-
that's-
bro. You know what?
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
Me is your
It's so
biggest
sad.
weakness?
Like, you can't say me as your biggest weakness. You can say, obviously we respect some introspection, but it's not. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're definitely not a weak link on your team. You're not a weak link. Like, your team doesn't have a weak link. You guys are great. And I had to say something about Uzi. He was on my team in year 2, and we were a great team. Our record didn't show we were 2-4, but like when we beat the top teams in the league, we were competing for a championship, and eventually we didn't make it. But he subbed in the championship, and he was part of a championship winning team. Uzi, those things don't come and go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
don't be too hard on yourself, brother. You're gonna be great.
That's nice. And Eli,
It's
again,
good to see humble answers.
Eli, similar to Richard's vein, when we asked for the weakness, he just said, "I plan to step up."
Right.
Not really. He mentioned the weakness, but I plan to stop it. So,
Right.
um,
Maybe we won't disclose
he
the
said
weakness
shooting
for those.
point guard control.
Right.
I feel like Larry brings up the ball from time to time. Point guard control is
I feel like it's not so prominent in this
yeah.
league.
Eli brought up the ball for us last year most of the time. It's not the longest court.
Right.
But maybe he said he plans to step up, so we'll see.
Right.
And let's skip question 4 because another only 2 answers. But this is a fiery question that we got some cool answers. Question 5: do you think you're respected enough in this league? Why or why not?
It's a good question.
On a personal level, I don't know how much respect goes around. We just
Right.
play. People talk behind your back, but we got some cool answers.
Some people talk in front of you
Yeah,
out here on this court.
yeah.
It's chippy.
It gets chippy, but what we noticed from Saturday ball, the chippiest games are the worst games. When no one's playing well, everyone's missing their shots. You suck, that's when it gets most chippy because
Yeah.
everyone's just frustrated with their own play.
Right.
So, but we still got some cool answers. Michael Gabay said, "Hell yes, I'm the number 1 big in the league. Eli by a landslide week 1." So that's not what I expected from these answers, but
It's
that's
not what I
what he
expected,
gave.
but in fact, I love it.
It's a sick
And
answer.
before we
I
sent
want
it
to be on
out-
his team.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
wanna
Before
be
we
with
sent
him.
it out, I literally told Jojo, I said, I can't wait to see Mike Bay's answers. I know he's going to give us something good. And that he did. The fact that he's playing Larry week 1 and proclaiming himself, I'm the best big in the league, and we're going to win by a landslide against, the other set to be best big in the league, like, he's making a statement.
Yeah.
And I think even later he's going to compare himself to Shaq and Kobe, him and Eli, Shaq and Kobe, those
Yeah.
2000s Lakers teams. There's a world where that works. I don't know if it's this world, but there's a world.
And our classic Richard response.
Right.
Richard Cohen, what does he say? Respect comes on a weekly
Right.
basis.
Right.
Doesn't come and go. You got to prove yourself every week. It's cute, Richard.
It's cute.
It's cute, whatever.
He
What
thinks
movie
he's like
did he get that
Socrates,
from?
this kid, like with the answers he
But,
gave.
but he who shall not be named gave an answer
Right.
for this one.
Let's see.
He said, "I think I've held my own, but I'm hoping this is the year where I take it up a notch, as I've been playing through this year and ball TF out."
Right, TF, I think I know that stands for, but I'm not going to mention it.
Yeah.
The thing about Common is what he might be alluding to is, he's always in like the same tier. He's in the Drew T, Kada tier, but like it seems like he wants to jump into that Richards. Richard subbed for him last year, and there was a lot of chirp. It's unfair, it's stupid, it's this, it's that. And Common went on and won the chip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like he
Yeah.
wants to jump in that registry. He wants to show I'm not like
He's
I'm
the
part of
reigning
that
champ,
tier.
but
He's a champ.
yeah, but no one
can you
gives
get
him
there?
credit for that, and it bothers him.
Right.
It
yeah,
bothers
that's
him.
true.
You know,
He did play great.
give me
He
an
played
NBA
great.
guy that doesn't get credit for winning a chip. Can we call him KD? Sorry, Kami, you're not KD. Who just got a chip, but
Just
now
calling one of the fellas on the bench that
I would say Kawhi on the Spurs, very much contributor, but not one of the better
he's
guys.
Finals MVP.
Finals MVP, right? Okay, fine.
Maybe
Kami,
like
you are not Finals MVP.
maybe like a Fred VanVleet 2019
Fred
Raptors.
VanVleet. Okay,
like,
so he wants to be on
like
the
spark plug like.
Yeah, so Kama wants to do what Fred VanVleet is not doing on the Rockets right now. Okay, so the last question we asked for an NBA comp for your team this year. Like we said before, Ness said the Pacers, young team pushing the pace. Eddie Cada said the Warriors. Eddie Cada's with us.
Oh, that's our team. The
Eddie
Warriors.
Cada calling himself Draymond Green. I guess I'm going to be Klay Thompson.
No, you're gonna be Curry. Are you crazy?
I'm
This
Curry.
guy, I'll tell you right now. This guy's Curry. I'm Jimmy Butler. Cada's
Oh, we're
Draymond.
the current Warriors?
Yeah, we're the current Warriors. That's all
Brian's
we're
Gary Payne.
Yes, I was gonna say that. I swear I was gonna say that. It's Gary Payne or Pods, depending on the day. But he buzzed his head, so we'll go Gary Payne.
And Michael Gabay said the 2000 Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, and Eric Citron saying the current New York Knicks. But what's interesting about that current New York Knicks, he compared Jack Gani to Josh Hart,
Right.
Richard Cohen to Karl Anthony Towns. What happened in the Eastern Conference Finals? Josh Hart couldn't start anymore, Eric Citron.
So
That's not the formula.
Right. Maybe switch to
Maybe
OG.
maybe trade for Mitchell Robinson. Get yourself.
Right.
get
No, he has
yourself a
Mitchell
Drew T.
Robinson. Drew T is Mitchell. Oh,
Yeah, so they're
Sorry, we got
starting
some stuff
Mitchell
going on.
Robinson and Josh Hart. That's
right. That's
that
not.
would never
was
work.
not.
That would never work,
That was never
Eric.
the answer. That was never the answer.
Yeah, but give Jack Gani OG.
Yeah, Jack
Jack
Gani should be OG.
Gani
He's more OG.
Okay,
He's more OG.
but that's
That's
that
actually great.
segment. Brian, play the outro music to that segment, please.
Finally, you know,
And
week
with
one
that,
matchups, man.
we got the week one matchups to
do it.
close out the pod. Everything
long
was
time
flowing.
coming.
This felt good. This pod so far.
I think we're going quick. What are we,
But,
I hope we're aiming for under 25 minutes. I don't know where we're at right now. But.
So matchup one, we have Larry versus Eli. Like we said before, Eli can't wait for this matchup, I guess.
I'm sure
and
Larry can't either. though.
Larry also, but he remained neutral in the pre stuff. But I'm sure he's telling the team crazy stuff.
I can only
But
imagine.
how the public vote?
So what we did this year for this week one, you know, well, we're gonna hope to continue it throughout, but depends on the consistency of answers. We got a lot of answers. We sent out along with those questions. Send in your week one predictions. We want to get the percentage of who the league thinks is gonna win, and then based on that, you know, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. You know, we'll induce some fuel into those that are favored to lose, as the odds are against them according
Absolutely.
to the rest of the league, and you know, we'll let some things be
And
proven. We'll let
we
some
can
points
make our
be made.
picks too. And also
Absolutely.
something to note, when you hear the percentages or the number of votes, keep in mind that teammates are voting for their own team.
That's
if a
true.
team gets 4 votes, it's probably just their team.
Right. So if
And-
they have 6 votes, like it's not a good look, brother.
And with 6 votes,
Oh no.
Eli Shaloach's team
Oh,
gets
no.
6 votes. And
2
Larry
votes,
Nacken
fellas.
gets 17. That's
That's 2 votes.
74% of players have Larry to win. Eli has something to prove, and he's proving his Megillah that he wrote to be true.
Absolutely.
Everyone's doubting him.
Yeah.
No one thinks he's got it
It seems
anymore.
Micah Bay is on that same
Um,
wave.
But what do you think is a key matchup on that team? Non-captains. Give me a role players going at it that could be key for the win for Eli or Larry. Who do we want to see ball
I'm
out?
not sure exactly what the defensive matchups are going to be in this game. It's a strange like size dynamic between the teams. Like, Eli has a really, really big team, and then you would think that Larry is a really big team, but only half his team is really big. The other 2 guys on his team are about 5'9", whatever.
IG's a ball player.
Yeah, of course they're bowlers, but the point is that they're I think they're lacking size actually in terms of this matchup against Eli. So I feel like this matchup, you know, the randomizer kind of blessed us. I think it's a good matchup. I think there's no prolific point guards on either team. I think that's
I
gonna,
think Isaac Indy is a pro.
yeah. I haven't seen. Okay, I haven't seen it.
Comparable
Disclaimer.
to the Hangover Ball League, he's a prolific point guard. The guy's going to go up and down the court in a matter of seconds. He plays tough D. But it's crazy to see that you said that Larry's team is undersized when they have Larry and Mike Mo. That's
Right.
2 of the 5
Right.
biggest guys in the whole
It is.
league.
It is. It is.
It may be true. We'll see on Sunday, but that's just of 2 of 4 guys being units of
I don't know
measurement.
about undersized, but is Eli gonna be guarding Mike Mo? Is Mike Mo gonna be guarding Eli? Is
Right.
IG too small for Eli? Is Eli too small for Mike Mo? You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of interesting matchups because
Right.
we did auction draft.
Right.
There's just teams that you don't really know how you're going
Right.
to match up. We're going to see a lot of switching, a lot of mismatches, but let's see if help can.
Who do you have in that
make it
game?
work. So, I have Team Larry. I don't need to give my breakdown. I have Team Larry. I just think they're a better team.
I want to say 6 voters, 4 of which were Team Eli. I was one of the other 2. I think I'm gonna pick Eli to win this game. contrary to popular belief. Listen, I've never seen Eli with such fire. Like he knows. He's not surprised by hearing that only 2 guys outside of his teammates voted for him. Like he knows it's coming, and he knows he's completely like undervalued as a captain and as a team. And he wants to show what it's like, and he wants to show what he's got. And I think he built a great team. It's very similar to my team last year, and we were a great squad. So I have nothing but respect for his team. And I think he's really going to come out like super aggressive, a version of Eli we haven't seen in a long time. And I think he might just be a mismatch for IG or for whoever's guarding him, and they might have to switch Larry onto him. And then does that mean Gabay cooks? But we need to see the Gabay versus Larry. So I don't know. Someone's going to eat. And it's gonna be.
I think sometimes, like you just look at the matchups, I don't see Team Eli guarding Team Larry at all. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm worried
the
about
Pacers are
IG's
2-1.
matchup also, in terms of who on Team Eli's
it's
guarding
very
IG.
scary.
But
And let's go into the next matchup: Team Elliott versus Team Eric. Obviously, we both have Team Elliott.
obviously,
And actually, the popular vote was Team Elliott.
let's
We
go.
go from 14 to 8. That's 63% of voters going to Team Elliott.
Pretty equal.
So that's exciting. I'm not gonna say the best teams, but I'd say we are both the 2 most complete teams. Can I say that
Definitely.
without backlash?
100%.
Just we both go 4 deep. The worst player on our team, we don't even know who it is, and I don't think
me.
Team Eric does either.
Literally me.
So that's just depth.
It's depth versus depth.
It's so like I don't
It's
think
depth versus
either
depth.
team is very excited to play each other. We wanted to
Yeah.
see them in the playoffs
Right.
or later on when we got into a groove, but
Right.
we're ready, and I'm actually surprised by those that voting turnout. And Eddie versus Max was the closest
Makes sense.
voting matchup by far. I guess it makes sense because we don't know what's coming from either team.
Right, 100%.
We have Eddie receiving 13 votes, Max receiving 9. That's 59% to 40.
That's cool.
So that's basically,
That's cool.
it's almost as even as we're going to get all year. And you'd think that the other 2 matchups were actually more even, but not at all.
Right.
Team Eddie, like we said,
What do we have, Brian?
young run and gun team.
What do I say?
Young run and gun team. And then we have Team Max, new team with Harry and Antar paired together, just swarming on D. So, like, I didn't know what to do. I ended up doing Eddie just because having the best player on the court and possibly also having the second best player on the court also.
That's not crazy to
debatable.
say.
Like, it's
That's
not crazy to say.
You know, as I say, it's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous
It's not
to
ridiculous to say that.
say. Right.
I want to mention. So you have Team Eddie, you said?
I have Team Ed.
I was ping ponging. Like imagine me on the ping pong court, so on both sides, playing against myself. I switched my vote maybe 3 times, 4 times. Legit, like I went on, deleted it, and put it on the other side. I landed on Team Max. I hate that me and Joe keep disagreeing. I hate it, but I landed on Team Max.
We agreed with Team Elliott winning.
Right, we
That's all
did,
that matters.
right. That's true. So I landed on Team Max at the end. I think I started with Team Eddie, and I was very high on Team Eddie coming into the season. I said they would be a top 2 team in the standings, outside of my team. So like, not including our team. I think they'll be top 2 out of the other 6. And I still think that way, but I think this first matchup is going to be strange for them. I think it's going to be
100%.
know,
they
like-
got to get comfortable with it.
right.
It's not getting easier.
It's
size-wise.
Vets versus a new captain. It's tough to He's gonna and Max and Eddie to have that little like Max wants to prove that like
Joey or Ness is gonna have to be guarding.
that's why I chose.
Harry
That's why I
Gianni.
ultimately went
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it. No.
it's-
You know what I heard they're doing? I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they're doing Antar and Eddie Cassin. Similar build. Antar proved me wrong. I think you're getting torched. Listen, all transparency on the pod is how it is. And then they're gonna put Alha on Harry apparently, and then Ness is gonna guard Max. That's gonna be
I
his
think I
primary
agree with
matchup.
that matchup. I think I agree
It's
with
cool,
that.
but I don't see.
You
I don't
can't
see these.
size-wise. Ness just can't.
I put
it's
Joey on
offensive
Harry or
boards.
something. I don't know what to
Yeah,
tell you.
I don't love that.
Something else. Alha needs to guard Max, I think.
Max strives off of screens anyways. If you're getting Max on an island by himself, I could trust Ness to hold his own. But Max actually, when he backs down, gets that paint area, that little floater, that little fadeaway is
Dude,
gross.
he's automatic
It's
on that. Oh, by
gross.
the way, I just realized that I said Antar on Eddie. I meant Eddie on Antar. That should
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
But
Nah,
the
I think
opposite
that was a
way,
mistake.
Antar's also going to get torched, but Eddie should hold his own defensively on Antar. I don't think Antar's going to cook him whatsoever.
And I think let's end it off on that
we
note.
can end it off on
Successful pod
Yeah.
2. Elliot, close it out.
that. I think
Say
we were
goodbye to
under
the
30.
team.
Listen, I wanted to be under 25, but, it's a long time. We were shaking off some rust. It's dark. Took a while to get set up, but it's a great pod. We're excited for what's to come. Conway, you're never invited back, and we're excited for the week 1 recap and the week 1 guests. We'll see who we got. I'll be
Hopefully
sitting
we'll
right
be
here.
posting
Hopefully.
regularly.
Yeah, hopefully
Guests
we can get
every
weekly, maybe like a half mid-season recap, post-season recap. Hopefully, we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. But
Hell yeah.
we have a lot in store for the season. It's gonna be very exciting. It's looking like it's gonna be awesome. And
If you're
see
still
you guys
watching,
Sunday.
I love you.
Yeah.
You're a king.
That's true.
Season 4. I
That's true.
can't wait.
Right.
Let's
and
go.
we'll see you on the court.
See you next time.
It's not
See
gonna
you
be
on
fun
the
for you.
court. How do we do? Sign.